Assalamualaikum and good morning to our beloved lecturer, Miss Khairina Aisyah. So my name is Ummu Hazirah binti Muhammad Arifin. And today, me and my partner, which is Ain, we're going to present our project 2 for subjects educational technology, where we have to do a skit for hybrid classroom, hybrid learning. So here we go.
Hi, my name is Nora Ains. So I'm going to present for the introduction. So education is constantly evolving to meet the changing needs of society. One of the significant development in recent years is the emergence of the hybrid classroom, a flexible learning model that combines traditional in-person teaching with online learning. This approach is more than just a response to global events like COVID-19 pandemic. It reflects a deeper shift in how we understand learning, access, and inclusion.
For the scenario explanation, we will go through one by one scene. Okay, for the first scene, we introduce the topic of white weather, which is a descriptive writing theme from the form 2 syllable from the textbook topic, which is topic C, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, we use canvas slide. We embedded visual and storm sound effect, storm and thunder sound effect to stimulate students' imagination. By the way, the class consists of one in-person student and one online student, because we only had 2 people in our group. So we pre-recorded the online student voice and we play it during the shoot. By doing this, it helped us simulate live hybrid interaction, while the teacher guided both student, in-person student and online student, equally through the first scene. Next, we will move on to the second scenario, which is the interactive learning. For the second scene, which is the interactive learning, for this scene, the student were asked to brainstorm their idea, their own descriptive word using the 5 senses. And then we use Padlet to allow both students to contribute their idea, which is Aisyah can see Ain idea, which is Aisyah is the online student, and Aisyah, which is the in-person student, can see Aisyah idea through the platform. So the in-person student, which is Ain, use her own device, and while the online student respond are like in the scene one lah, they are pre-recorded, and teacher I will play the recorded audio while shooting. And then the student and the teacher responded to both students' input, making the activity feel inclusive and interactive for both students. This part of lesson also show how Padlet can encourage collaborative learning even in a hybrid setup. So that's all for scene 2. We will move on to the scene 3. Okay, we move on to the third scenario, which is assessment and feedback. So this scene focus on formative assessment. As you can see, we created a short Kahoot quiz with question about sensory and descriptive language that they just learned from previous scene. So the in-person student, which is Ain, answer the quiz live using her own device, while the online student answer were time and play as recording during the scenario. So teacher provide instant feedback and assessment. I think instant feedback on their response during the quiz time. This also helped reinforce the learning point, even though only one student was physically present on spot. But this part of lesson will still show how tool like Kahoot and online platform can make assessment engaging for whether they are at home, in the class. So we move on to the next scene. And finally, for the fourth scenario, which is the last scenario, which is the reflection and closing. So our final scene was a reflection session where the in-person student directly share their thought with the teacher, while the online student reflection were pre-recorded and be played during the shooting. And this scene gave both students a chance to express what they have learned in class. The teacher also then work up the lesson by emphasizing the value of hybrid classroom, hybrid learning, and how digital tool like Kahoot, like Canva, like Padlet help both students connect with each other despite the different type of learning setting of different type of participation. The first one in person, and then second one is online. So both are actually connected with each other, even though the distance is quite different. So that's all for scenario explanation. For the next slide, which is 2B, I will explain the digital tool that we use and why each was selected to support our hybrid learning. So first, we start with Canva slide, which serve as the introduction to the lesson. We actually design a visually engaging slide with storm and thunder image and their sound. So this tool actually help set the mood and activated student imagination, student pure knowledge, their schemata, especially useful for a descriptive writing topic like we did. So as Canva allow easy screen sharing and is compatible with both physical projection and online platform. For example, I can project this slide in front of the class, and I can share screen through online platform like Gmeet or Zoom meeting. So it worked well for our hybrid setup, for both setup. And that the next tool we use is Padlet during the interactive brainstorming session, because Padlet enable real-time collaboration. So both student Aisha and I can add their word and phrases based on 5 sentences to describe thunder. So and then the in-person student used her own device, while the online student were record and play through voice recording during the scene. And then Padlet helps stimulate a shared classroom wall where both students could see and learn each other ideas through the online platform. For assessment, we selected Kahoot, a tool that made the quiz more interactive and fun. So the quiz tested student understanding of descriptive language and imagery that they just learned during this scene 1. Although only one student participated live, the pre-recorded answer from the online student, the pre-recorded response from the online student were timed to match the teacher question. So the instant feedback and game-like experience made the assessment engaging while still fulfilling its learning purpose. And lastly, we included a brief reflection session. Actually, we don't use digital tool for this scenario. Basically, the in-person student gave their reflection verbally, and while the online student feedback was again pre-recorded. So this part encouraged students to think about what they had learned and how they feel about the hybrid class experience. In conclusion, each tool were carefully matched to a different phase of a lesson. Canva for input, Padlet for practice, Kahoot for assessment, and verbal response for reflection. Together, they help ensure the lesson was interactive to the student, inclusive for all students, and meaningful for both learner, whether they're at home, they're physically in the class. So that's all for digital tool that we use.
For the challenge and solution is one of the most pressing issue facing hybrid classroom is the digital divide. While some students easily transition between in-person and online learning, others struggle due to limited access to devices, stable internet, or even a quiet place to study. However, this challenge is not too much because school and government are beginning to step in by providing laptops, tablet, and Wi-Fi hotspot to those who need them the most. Moreover, a common fear about hybrid learning is that students will feel disconnect or disengaged between especially when learning from home without the daily routine of classroom interaction. Some learners may lose motivation or feel isolated, and for teachers it's become harder to read facial impression or sense when a student is struggling behind the screen. To tackle this, educators can make visual learning more interactive and personal using tools like live polls, a breakout room, or for a small group discussion or game-based quiz help bring student engagement. For the conclusion, reflecting on the journey towards hybrid classroom and the growing role of technology in education, it becomes clear that we are witnessing more than just a shift in teaching method. We are partnered by blending in-person learning with online opportunities have opened new doors that were previously closed for many students. It invites us to rethink education as a flexible, personalized experience rather than a one-size-fits-all system.